Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How is your day today? How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Hope everything in your corner of this giant blue ball is exceptional. If you're in the path of this current storm, I wish you the best, and I hope that this next one just goes off into the Atlantic. What a mess, man. This year has been all around, and I tell you the hardest part of this year with my family, with dealing with all of this stuff, is the girls have been spending a lot of time at Jamie's mom's house, and it's so weird to come home to an empty house. You know, they say there's like the you don't realize what you have until you don't have it, or something like that, whatever that quote is. It's like the noise level in this house is eerily silent, and I don't like it. It was just funny because, like, I'm probably, and hopefully this doesn't offend anybody that I'm just going to self-diagnose here. I'm probably mildly autistic. Sounds bother me quite a bit, actually, and I can get into like almost a shutdown mode if they get too loud, and not necessarily loud. It's not necessarily volume. It's the number of sources. Like, I get overwhelmed. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be listening to. This should be leather. This is leather. And but having a silent house is like unnerving. I don't like it. It's really weird. Especially because I tend to prefer silence. We just got some leather. This is I ordered this off of eBay. These are like 12-inch by 12-inch project pieces of, I think these are 7 to 8 ounce veg tanned leather. I tried to do this project. I have a project that I'm working on. I have the plans drawn up and everything. I'm going to essentially make a holster for some tools. And I tried to make it out of this leather, which is not veg tan. And it's just, this was after heat and wet forming this. It's just floppy. So this is veg tanned leather. Just essentially meaning that it was tanned with vegetable tannin, not mercury, or I don't know what they use to tan the other stuff. Some sort of chemical process. This is vegetable tan, which is what you'd make like saddles and holsters out of. So it's really stiff. Like, it's not floppy at all. And this will take a wet form really, really well. So I've got 2 of these. Hopefully that's enough leather to do what it is I need to do. I was going to order like a hide or whatever, but that's too expensive. So that's a project that's upcoming. I don't know if I'll film it or not. It's just going to happen. And speaking of, let's talk a little bit about what I thought about all weekend. Well, in reality, I thought about soccer all weekend. We had 5 soccer games in the last 3 days. In fact, it's late here. It's like 8 o'clock. I just got home from a soccer game tonight. So this was our 5th game in 3 days. And so lots of soccer, but I did think quite a bit about the discussion that we had last week, and about all of your comments, and about, I told you I would think about it, and I did. And a lot of your comments really hit home. A lot of the comments that were like, we have had this discussion multiple times. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. That's just how I am. And nothing has changed. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. That's how I am. Chevee, you want everything to change, but you want to keep doing the same. Yes, that's part of the reason why I made the show. Was because when I first started the show, I thought kind of a model of my inspiration was the Red Green Show. And I know that might sound really bizarre because I don't do sketch comedy here, but there was always a segment on the Red Green Show where Red would sit down and tie flies and give you some random man tip. And then at the end he'd say, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. And that was kind of one of the inspirations for doing this sort of talk show format of, let's sit down and talk about a thing that we don't normally talk about as men, or as adults, or as people, or as whatever. Just, pick a point of view and we'll go from there. At least a point of view I could relate to. And that's kind of where I went. And that format just, it didn't work all that well. Nobody really responded to it. I didn't get a lot of feedback. And when I would I didn't have anything to discuss, and I would just sit here in front of the camera and talk about me and what's going on in my world, those are the videos that got the most views. And those are the videos that people constantly responded. I love this, do more. Okay. And so that's what I transitioned into. And As I told you last week, I enjoy this sitting in front of the camera and talking to you about my life. But at the same time, I want to do more than that. And my life is not interesting enough to bring you along, right? I'm not a Casey Neistat. I'm not a Fun for Louie. I don't have a cool job where I travel all over the world and I can take you with me. I don't have, a large bank account where I can just take time off and start shooting crazy travel adventures. Or I can't. Like, this is my life. I'm a guy. I'm 38. I've been married for 14 years. I have 2 little girls. I have a day job that's really boring. I sit at a desk and I type code, or I go to a school and I fix something and I can't take cameras there. So it's like I can't do more with my life currently in the current situation that I'm in. So I want to do more here, but I don't want to drive people away. I want to do more, but I want to do more things that people would actually watch. So I still want to do this. I still want to do this face to face. So here's what I've come up with. We talked last Friday about doing like a weekly discussion topic, and that is something that I'm definitely going to pursue. That was one of your ideas. Again, why I made the last week's video was to get your ideas. That was one of your ideas, and I love it. The thing is, that's definitely not going to be like a super regular thing. My plan is to pick a subject and go for it. Like, just go at it for a week. And so that's probably going to be a fairly large production, at least on the back end of my side, doing research and that sort of stuff. And I'm talking like, let's talk about universal healthcare. Like, I'm talking like, there's things that I want to know, that I want to dig into, and I'd love to take you along for that ride. So I want to do stuff like that. That's going to take a lot of planning, and so I can't tell you when that's going to start. I'm not even going to hazard a guess at it, because it's going to take me some time. First, I would like to get a few topics that I know I can do this, and I can dedicate a week to it, and then I'll start doing the research on those topics so that I can bring them here. So that's going to take some time. One thing that I'm going to start very, very soon that I mentioned last week is I'm going to insert a segment into this. I'm still going to do what's happening with Chevee every day because you guys like that. I'm not going to ask why. I'm just going to show you me every day. But I also would like to do something along the lines of like what happened today or something like that. And kind of maybe do a news bit, or maybe do just a scandal bit, or maybe do a sports bit, or what have you. Something that piques my interest that day, I will pick it and we'll insert it into the show. And we'll see if that generates traction from your comments, from outsiders. And I hope to make that like a 2 or 3, maybe 4-minute segment of a 10-minute show. So it's not going to overwhelm the show. I would still like to do the regular discussion type stuff, but that'll be, part of the show. And again, I'm not going to tell you when that's going to start because I'm not positive myself. And it might just be something that I sneak in until it gets comfortable for me. I don't know yet, but I'm going to do it. And then the last thing is, this is a bigger production that I've been thinking about for a while now. I love doing these projects. I love doing shop stuff. So I really want to figure out how to pull off maybe it's an entire, well, it would be one episode. An episode on a weekend build video that's like, let me build that for you. So you guys give me suggestions of stuff to build. I will set the parameters of, what I'll make it out of, how I'll make it, or how big it can be, or whatever. And then you give me ideas, and I'll build one of them, or maybe I'll build more if it's a small enough project that I can pull that off. And I think that could be fun. I think that could give me a reason to be here, because a lot of the time I come down here and I have these ideas. I have this thing that I want to make, and this I want to make to kind of help facilitate stuff in the shop. I want to build a new box for that thing. I want to build drawers for this. I have snares up there that I bought 2 years ago to make a cajon. I want to make a cajon, and I come down here and I'm just like, I don't know which one of these things to start on. I don't have the bits to do that. I need to buy some stuff to do that. Whatever. So I end up making a little piece, a fixture or something. So this would give me a reason to come down here and tinker. You give me an idea and I do it. And that's going to be like probably a once a month type thing. I'm not going to be able to do that very often. Life is just, you know, I can't quit my day job to do this, and I have no intention of ever doing that. So that's my ideas. That's my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you have to think about that. As always, I really appreciate your comments, and I appreciate you being here for me. So thank you. Thank you for everything. I'm going to leave it there, and hopefully you'll tell me what you think in the comments below. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done that. It costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. And yeah, see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from FamousTexans.com. How many Super Bowls has Roger Staubach been to? Never heard of him. It was the state of a career which saw Staubach become the most exciting quarterback of the 70s, with Staubach largely responsible for the Cowboys becoming known as America's team. Roger led Dallas to 4 Super Bowl games, 6, 10, 12, and 13, losing only 10 and 13 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Interesting. I don't know anything about football, unless we're talking about soccer. I know a lot about soccer.